All right, so the big idea is this is the first function we've had that wouldn't fit the power rule that we actually know the derivative of. Okay, so sine and cosine are not in the form of x to the n, so the derivative rule is different. Okay, so this says take the derivative of sine. The derivative of sine is cosine. Okay, so derivative of sine x is cosine x. The derivative of cosine x is the opposite of sine x, or negative sine x. Okay, these are two things you just need to memorize. Okay, you can always go back to the graphs if that helps you remember, but the point is for these to be quick and easy problems, and this is stuff we're going to be using the rest of the course. So for instance, if I ask you, all right, give you the function f of x equals cosine x, what's the first derivative? You should be able to just write that down. Okay, and today you might not be able to, but hopefully you are studying, and so over the weekend that would be true. All right, the opposite of sine x really is the same thing as negative 1 times sine x. Okay, so if I ask you to find the second derivative, or the derivative of the first derivative, well, that negative 1 would still be there, and then the derivative of sine of x is cosine x. All right, and so I would write that second derivative as negative cosine x. Okay. Likewise, if we start at sine x, the first derivative is one that we know, cosine x. And then if I ask you to take the derivative of that, well, again, that's one you know. That would be negative sine x. Okay, so you should feel comfortable taking derivatives of those two functions. Okay, what is fair game for your quiz? Okay, power rule to find derivatives. So that's the stuff that fits the form of a x to the n power. Okay, we know how to take derivatives of that, and that would include functions that don't appear to be power functions on first glance. So ones that you have to do that rewrite first. So for example, if you had 2 over x squared, you would do the rewrite to be 2x to the negative 2, and then you could use the power rule to find the derivative. Okay, you should feel comfortable creating and recognizing graphs of a derivative given a function. We've been practicing that for several days. You have a pink packet and green packet that you did for homework that should help you out. There is additional practice on Canvas for that stuff as well. The physics stuff of position, velocity, and acceleration that we've been working on the last couple of days, that is also fair game. You can tell the kinds of questions that I would be asking from what we talked about in class. And then the basic trig, sine and cosine derivatives that we just talked about, I would expect that those should be okay for Monday. Okay. In terms of your homework this weekend, you have these 2 review problems in the book. Okay, I did want to note for you that in review problem 4 part H, there's a long thing. All I need you to do from that is calculate f prime of 32. So find f prime and then plug 32 into that. Okay, and then the main thing is to be ready for this quiz. All right, hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you next class period.